Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I play the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Tom Rayleigh. Our campaign is The Curse of Nineveh. It was written by Mike Mason, Mark Latham, Scott Dorward, and Paul Fricker, and it's available from the Chaosium website. I'm the GM, and this is episode 21. Our recap tonight will be given by John Byram as his character, Felix Matheson. So, without any further delay, let's continue our journey into the darkness. John?
Thank you, Tom. Well, after a short meeting with Memes at the British Museum, in which we provided more information on the Scrolls of Endless Shadows, we made an appearance in the office of Mr. Campbell Thompson. Now, Thompson was less than fruitful, and while he agreed that the happenings are strange, he really seemed indifferent to the loss of life attached to the items that he had excavated from Nineveh. One would think our visit to the museum was a complete waste of time, but no, it wasn't. Actually, our good friend Mr. Harcourt turned on his wit and charm, apparently striking the fancy of Miss Audrey Leicester, and ended up having her accompany him to the auction, after dinner, of course. So now we've reconvened all together here at Sotheby's, where we've previewed the items and are now making our way to our seats in the bidding area, ready for the auction.
All right. So you're all sitting at the auction, and people are starting to quiet down. You see the what does he call, auctioneer, going up to the front. Now I want to remind you that you didn't really speak to any of the other people, so you don't know names. I mentioned basically 4 other people who looked kind of interested in the horn. There was the Twit, as I called him, the private collector Archibald Judge. You know his name because Vadim recognized him. There was the bald fat guy, and there was the rather exotic looking, we'll say, Italian lady. And there were, of course, other people in the audience that you didn't necessarily think were that interested in it. So the auction begins. They bring from the other room where you'd viewed. The first thing they bring is the mirror. This mirror was reputedly used as a scrying tool by the notorious Victorian magician Aldous Dashwood. This is a large, tarnished silver mirror cast in a Baroque style. Legend has it that Dashwood himself is trapped within the mirror. The bidding is going to start at 100 pounds. 100 pounds. Does anyone want to make a bid for 100 pounds? Now, the mechanics show me that you all need to do power rolls. And I will do a power roll for my guys. All right, who failed?
I failed.
Okay. And what scores did you get?
I rolled an 80 out of 60.
Okay. How about you, Vadim? Did you fail?
Yeah, I got 81 out of 80.
Okay, so you have the worst one. Vadim, you actually raise your hand. 100. 100. Going once? Well, that doesn't happen yet. Immediately, other people start bidding on the mirror. 100, 110, 110, 120, 130, 130, 140. Do any of you want to bid on anything else?
No, but I have a question. Did I raise my hand also with a failure?
No.
Okay.
The worst one, the worst failure is the one who raises his hand. Vadim, do you want to continue to bid on this item or not? Okay.
No.
So eventually the mirror goes for 300 and some odd pounds to none of these people on your list. Okay. The next item up for bid is the Dictionnaire Infernal. It's a first edition of the book by Jacques Collin. It is in French, and it describes the major devils of hell and the is invaluable in black rituals of binding or summoning. Bidding starts at 50. 50. Are any of you guys interested at all? Okay, there you go. Cyrus bids on 50. 50. 50. I have 50. I have 60. 60. 70 there with Mr. Matthews. 70. 80. You went like this. 80. 80. 90. It eventually goes to the rather exotic looking woman for 160. Next up is the Cipher of Parmes. Once belonged to the High Priest of Thoth. This curious onyx scarab is inscribed with Egyptian hieroglyphics and strange unknown symbols. It's believed to date from at least 2000 BC. It was discovered in 1887 in the Valley of the Kings alongside a casket of empty scarab carapaces. Bidding will start at 30 pounds. 30 pounds, 35, 40, 45, 50, 50 pounds, 50 pounds, going once, 50 pounds, going twice, sold to Mr. Gammon-Toffel. They don't know what your name is, so. All right, so you dropped 50 pounds. The next item on the list is the Horn of Alu. The Horn of Alu is an ancient Sumerian artifact from Nineveh. Its complete provenance is not entirely known. It was currently in the possession of a Sir Walter Clark, who has since passed away, and it is being passed on by his family. Bidding starts at 100 pounds. 100 pounds. 100 pounds. 200. 200 pounds. 200. 300. 300 pounds. 350. 400 pounds. 450 pounds. 450. Now at this point, we'll say that was like the round one. You can either choose to bid or you can choose to observe the other people. You have to observe one particular one.
And who's been bidding so far, other than us?
So far, the Twit, the Collector, and the Italian lady. The bald guy is not bidding. Nobody else seems to be bidding.
I'll watch the Italian lady.
Okay.
I'll watch the Collector.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a spot hidden.
Oh, 2. Probably the best roll of the game. Wasted for watching a lady.
Great success.
All right. You're looking at the Collector theme.
Collector.
The Collector looks cool as a cucumber. Cyrus, you're looking at the Italian lady. She looks determined but worried. You know, that she's not going to get it. Let's see, where were we? 450?
Who's got a current high bid?
Current high bid, we'll say, is the collector. At, I think it was 450. 450, 500. The twit says 500. 500. The Italian lady goes 550. The bald guy now says 700.
Oh. Are we going to pool money, guys, or what?
$700. We have 700. 700. 700. We have 750. 750. Do we have a bid? Now the bald guy bids 800. 800.
Yeah, we'll go 9.
We'll have 900. 900. All right, we'll say that's another round. Do you want to bid or do you want to observe?
I'll observe the bald gentleman.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your spot hidden.
88. Fuck. No, I failed.
All you can tell is that he still seems just completely
Blank.
Yeah. Uh, 800. We have 800, 850 to the twit. 800 and we have 900 to the bald guy. 950 to the collector. 950. 1,000. 1,100.
1,200.
1,200. Right. 1,200. 1,200 going once. 1,200 going twice. Final warning. 1,200 to Mr. Gammontop. Well, he doesn't say that.
Number 42.
Number 42, yeah.
The short Russian.
Actually, not too short.
All right. Those of you who are observing now, do spot hiddens.
19. Pass.
Failed it.
Well, Cyrus, the twit looks very upset, maybe a little more overly exaggeratedly upset. The collector is, I suppose he's probably angry, but he's doing it in a more sort of snooty manner. Who else passed?
I got a hard success,
All right.
and I'm interested in the Italian lady.
The Italian lady is pretty upset. I mean, she's obviously upset, but you see her keep looking over at the twit. Okay. Who else passed? Anybody else? I'll just give you that the bald guy also looks, well, he definitely looks like he's trying to figure out what his next move should be. The rest of the auction goes what you'd expect. The trinkets go for what you'd expect. And then the final item gets sold and the auction is concluded. almost immediately, Vadim,
Mm-hmm.
you can see in the crowd of people that is set, getting up, that the Italian lady, the bald guy, and the collector, well, the Italian lady, the bald guy, and the twit are sort of heading in your direction. Like they would really like to speak to you
Mm-hmm.
about your purchase.
Okay. I'm just going to take it easy and let them come on their court.
But Dean, where did you get that much money?
I'm gonna.
I need
Yeah,
to borrow it
if
from you all. I thought we were pooling the money.
If I notice that, I'm gonna get up and kind of walk. I'm gonna walk with that group. Like say the lady and the guy are there. I'm gonna stand next to them and confront Vadim also, almost like if I'm not with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, I got your bag, Vadim. I
Uh,
got money.
Okay, I only need a little bit more. But
Now,
we
once they all circle up on Vadim,
Uh-huh.
obviously I'm not coming up there with that group just yet. Once they do circle up, I want to reach through them, shake Vadim's hand, congratulate him on his purchase.
Oh, well,
and
thank you.
At the same time, attempt to pick the pocket of the Italian woman to find out anything I can from her items,
I don't think women have pockets.
whether it be her purse or whatever.
Go ahead and do what is that? Sleight of hand?
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
11 on
Nice.
63.
All right.
That's extreme.
So you're sort of getting in there. You shake Vadim's hand. You bump into the woman as she's standing there, and you manage to lift probably her pocketbook out of her reticule. And what are you going to do? Just sort of step back, take a look at it, and then put it back?
Yeah, I just want to do a quick check to see who she is.
All
Get
right.
the rundown on her. And then immediately I will put it on the floor and then pick it up and hand it back to her as, ma'am, you dropped your pocketbook.
Okay. You see that her name is Mafalda Violette. And from the date on her ID, she's probably 38 years old. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
And she's got definitely an Italian accent. But she's turning back towards the Vadim. All right, the first one to sort of get to you, Vadim, is the twit. And he's got a big smile on his face. And he's like, well, congratulations, well done. You did so well.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
My name is Odie Mortimer.
Oh, yes, Vadim Gamatov.
Well done, well done. Now, I would very much like to speak with you, and perhaps I know that you had your heart set on the object. I would so much like it for my collection. I'm certainly willing to make you an offer for it.
Well, perhaps something outside of the auction. And
Well,
I give my card.
indeed. Perhaps we could have lunch tomorrow or something like that.
Tomorrow is a little inconvenient, but do call my valet, and he'll arrange for a meeting.
Of course. Here's my card, and he hands it to you. And do you give him your card?
Yes.
All right, he takes your card. And he says, well, I hope that we can do business with each other. Probably all these
perhaps.
just want to take a crack at it. You, mister. Yeah, yes. And the bald-headed guy is kind of like, well, sir, I am very much interested in possibly making you an offer for it as well. My buyer was very much interested in acquiring this piece, and perhaps we could make a deal. Perhaps I could arrange a meeting between you.
Oh, no problem. Here's my card. Do get in contact with my valet, and
Certainly.
he'll make an arrangement.
Mafalda, she looks charming, and she's like, "Oh, you did so well, Mafalda." And she introduces herself. Are you a married man?
Not quite, but I think that might be something that will be happening in the near future. I do have someone who we just have not made the arrangements yet.
She looks very sexy. She says, I would so much like to own that piece. Perhaps we could arrange something. I don't have all of my funds here with me tonight, but I could certainly provide more at a later date if you also allowed me to meet with you.
Not a problem. Get in contact with my valet, and he'll make arrangements.
Right. In the meantime, Reginald, Audrey, she's like, well, I'm so glad that you guys you folks acquired it. You're going to give it back to the British Museum, aren't you? I mean, it's the whole reason why I'm here. It was illegally obtained from us.
My dear Ms. Lancaster, please call me Reginald.
Yes, Reggie.
We certainly, as a group, feel that it's of the utmost importance that artifact gets to where it belongs. There is some question about it being safer in its land of origin than in British hands.
Oh, but well, perhaps, but certainly we should be able to study it and document it. And
I thoroughly agree. I'm quite curious to see how the process of translation will go. I hope we can pull Mr. Memes away from his current obsession, perhaps get some nice bone broth in him and set him to the task. But it was awfully entertaining evening, didn't you think?
Well, yes, quite a lot of interesting things. And Vadim seemed to come away with 2 objects.
Yes, so his personal desire as a collector shall also be somewhat satisfied, even if he doesn't get to keep the horn. He looked a little crazed for a minute when he bought that book. Or did he get the mirror?
Which one did you get, Vadim?
He got the book.
I got the scarab.
Oh, you got the scarab.
You got the scarab. Very nice.
Fuller and Felix. Yeah, go ahead, Felix.
Did I take note of who bought the mirror? Do I know who bought the mirror?
I thought it was the lady.
No.
Then it was the collector.
Lady got the book. I think it might have been the twit. Odie Mortimer, who got the mirror.
All right. What was the?
Now, what did you need from me, Tom? You mentioned me and
I was
Felix.
just going to have you and Felix both do spot hiddens.
All right.
Spot hidden. Okay.
98.
Made it.
Okay. Well,
34 out of 74.
You do notice in the room there are a number of people, mostly who you would think would be on the servant end, not the actual buyer, and that have an eye on Vadim. They're not approaching. Obviously, they knew that the vultures would go for Vadim immediately. But it looks like they might be I don't know. Just in this environment, it looks like they're scheming something.
Yeah, I figured that there's probably plants among them of bitters that wanted to be kept in this dark. Yeah, I had actually been thinking about that before, that the wait staff could be plants.
So the question now, after the auction is over, is: are you able to pay cash for the object right now and take it, or should they store it in the vault and you come back tomorrow or the next day?
Slightly out of character. Fuller's going to help me pony up the remaining cash for the horn, and I got plenty of cash for the scarab, so we can get both between the two of us.
I got $750 in cash.
Outside of the scarab, which I could pay right out, I got $600 in cash. So we can get both objects.
I whisper, maybe you can make it appear that you're coming back for it tomorrow.
And then at the last second, say, "Oh, by the way, I'll go ahead and just take it."
No, talk with them, but say to us out loud, like, "Oh, well, we'll go get the money and come back tomorrow," loudly, and then. Right. So in case anybody wants to follow us out.
Okay. Along the way, following along. Yes. We'll get the money in, come back tomorrow.
Well, keep in mind, too, there's 5 of us standing there together. I mean, I'm not saying that they can't attack us with armed guards or something, but, I mean, they're probably not going to want to start a fist fight with 5 of us standing there.
Yeah, I wonder, Vadim, will you be keeping it in your safe at home? How secure is that?
I have already made the arrangements with the British with the Bank of England.
Aha.
Also, remember, you just gave your card out to 3 or 4.
I don't want that. I do not want anything important near my place right now.
Okay. Put it at the club, and we could take turns watching it.
We'll all just stay in the room, or at least 2 of us.
When Fuller mentions the club and goes, "That was the plan originally."
Yeah, I'm sure we're not discussing this like we are right now.
No,
it's in hushed tones.
No, actually, kind of. When we're at a stage, the thing is, I'm kind of making the hushed tones being that we're going to put it in a vault at the Bank of England and make it known to the guys that we're actually going to keep it at the vaults at the Wentworth Club.
I say
so in case if anybody's like eavesdropping, what they'll hear is that it'll be at the Bank of England.
I say we grab it and run.
I do agree. Expedience would be a good measure.
You grab it and run?
No.
Not pay for it?
No.
No, as in get it and leave instead of standing around drawing a crowd.
Yes, and I do agree. Let's take care of it.
All
I don't know, Vadim. How fast is your run?
Not really run, but lead with experience, as I said.
Okay, so you were going to pay for it outright?
Between the 2 of us, and then I got enough to pay for the scarab.
All right.
And that's where it's going to tap me out. But.
Well, when the transaction takes place, there are a number of Sotheby's guards right there. They don't allow people to be standing there watching it take place. But the horn of Alu is placed into a box, that it was transported in. And the scarab likewise.
Okay.
And they're just
similar boxes, similar size, or
no, it's completely different size. The horn is much larger than the.
Right.
How big is the horn actually?
Well, it's a cow's horn, so.
Okay, I mean, so it's full size.
It's a bull's horn, yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering if we could get an artist to copy it. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate, just close enough that someone scrounging in a room would grab it and take off running with it.
Tom, what time of night or day is it?
The auction began at what, 8 o'clock, was it?
Sounds about right.
I'm wondering if there's any locations open where I could go and pick up some canvas bags or suitcases or something right now.
Stores, not at this time of night, no.
Who lives closest to here? Maybe we could, one or two of us could run to the house, grab a couple bags or luggages and come back, and each of us leave with a bag. Might be overthinking it, but
Well, the building is going to close down in the next.
I think with 5 of us, we should be able to get back to the flat safely.
And you're going back to Vadim's place?
No, going to the Wentworth Club.
Oh, okay. All right.
And from the Wentworth Club, perhaps we could all leave carrying an object.
Yeah, we're not gonna send it home to Vadim. He just handed out his business card to everybody and their mother's dog.
All right. So you all pile in the car. Better check and make sure I'm reading everything over here, because sometimes I forget. You all pile in the car, and you head over to the Wentworth Club. And of course, you have access. So
Now is Reginald's date with us, or did she go home?
I think Miss Leicester, I will make arrangements for her to get home safely. It's
you're not taking her home?
unseemly for her to be out,
he's
with a
tossing
strange
out
gentleman.
on the street.
That was fun, lady. We'll do it again sometime. No, I'll probably deposit her in a cab with money for the fare.
Okay.
Seems gentlemanly.
Let's get a good look at this horn.
Well, you're in the cab. You're going to look at it in the cab.
Oh no, I thought we were back at the club.
Okay, so you're back at the club.
Now,
where are you going to go in the club?
to the room that we've been using.
Upstairs?
Yeah.
All right. There are people about, of course, the Wentworth Club, just like there always are. You head up to your office, and you step into the room and you set it on the table. The Horn of Alu is obviously some sort of a ceremonial horn. It, I guess in theory, could be blown like a musical instrument. It has gold and jewels encrusted on it, and tiny little cuneiform writing all over inscribed into the horn itself.
Any quick impressions of familiar names you'd like in the writing?
Well, yeah. It's. I mean, you can't read it, but you can read bits of it. It's definitely dedicated to Alu and I forget if it's, how does it go? It's there's nothing on it whatsoever that refers to Nabu. The god that's mentioned numerous times on it is Anu, and Alu, according to the tradition, is his demonic sort of servant.
Mm-hmm.
What about Lamashtu?
No, there's no mention of that.
I want to go out on a limb, guys, and say, don't anybody blow this horn right now. Just throwing it out there. That's all.
Okay, so you're at the Wentworth Club. I would like you to all do power rolls.
Vadim, pictures, man, pictures.
I brought my brownie. We'll have pictures.
Oh, I failed.
Hard success.
93.
Okay.
I rolled an 86. Don't feel bad.
10.
Regular success. 24.
For those of you who failed, especially for Cyrus, the excitement of the evening is kind of getting to you. You're feeling fatigued. You're feeling tired. At this point, you'd really like to just go home and go to bed.
I'm going to lay down on this couch over here and take a 4-hour nap. Wake me up in 4 hours to take a turn guarding.
Okay.
You know, I think I had enough of this stuff tonight. I'm just going to go and try and get a good night's sleep. You guys need anything?
No, are we agreed we're going to put this in the Wentworth safe when we leave, or are we going to maintain a personal guard here indefinitely?
Didn't we have a safe in the room that we've been putting stuff in?
We've had.
Yeah. I don't know that it's as secure as the main safe of the place would be, because I feel like we had like a locked cabinet in the room that we've been using.
Yeah, but I think that we could have guards on it.
Well, that's, yeah. Do we want to devote ourselves to being full-time security for this thing?
I would, at least for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
May I also make the suggestion that we leave the horn in the safe, and I take the box with me in case we have somebody who followed us. They could see that I have the box, and at the very least, if they try to take it from me and succeed, they just have an empty box.
Good idea.
There's a knock on the door. A tap.
Hide.
You all are hiding?
No, hiding the horn.
All right. Cyrus, did I see you go over and open the door?
Yeah, after he puts the horn away, I'll walk over and
it's Theodore Rayburn Price. Okay. And he comes up and he says, "Well, gentlemen, how did the auction go?"
Pretty well.
Excellent.
I happened to win, as it were, and I have horn safely secured and safe at the Bank of England. We took measures and steps to go there before coming back here to celebrate.
But the banks aren't open this late night.
I made special arrangements with my contact that I had at the bank.
Well, in any case, I should like very much to take a look at it. I've been studying it for so long now, along with these other very strange artifacts that you've been looking for. Did you get a chance to look at it? Hieroglyphics on it?
Yes, I do believe Reginald got some initial notes on the cuneiform. There, he could tell you more about it than I could.
Oh, well, if you don't mind, I would like very much to see it tomorrow.
Sure, we could make arrangements.
Perhaps we should meet at, let's say, 10 a.m.?
Very well, gentlemen. Would that be sufficient for you all?
I have no objection.
Excellent.
agreeable.
10 a.m.
What a wonderful evening. Good night, gentlemen. And he turns around and walks out.
I was understanding he was not a member of the club.
Theodore Rayburn Price? This whole thing started with him.
Yes.
Wow. Okay, my bad.
He's been your patron, sort of, so to speak.
When Rayburn Price is gone, I turned the others and went and looking, going, not that I don't trust our patron, but with everybody out there looking for this thing, I think keeping it as quiet as possible with just us knowing where it's at, he's right this moment, he's probably for the best.
I agree with that move 100%.
Because there might be loose talking, and that's probably why the thing got lost in the first place.
Could this horn be put underneath a jacket and concealed?
Sure.
Yeah, what we should probably do is have, say, Cyrus put it in his jacket, and then you carry the box. That way, if someone jumps us, they're coming after they're going to be focused on the box.
I thought the horn was staying here tonight.
Yes,
Tonight. We're talking about
yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow we can make arrangements for transporting the horn away from the Wentworth Club and where no one would suspect.
We're going to document the thing very thoroughly, and then what will we do with it? Are we going to give it to the museum? Or are we going to give it to the Children of Tranquility? How is it safest to dispose of it so that it cannot be used in the ritual for which it is meant?
That is something that we might have to ponder upon and discuss in the morning.
I would not be surprised if the Children of Tranquility came calling. I would imagine they would have had people at the auction watching it.
It's possible.
Surprised they didn't steal it beforehand.
That's the saying that they didn't try.
Yes, well, this Sir Walter Clark, none of us have heard of him before, the fellow who had who passed away. I wonder how it came into his hands and how many people knew about it.
Now, that is something I would suggest we look into, because they mentioned that Mr. Clark was deceased.
No,
Was
it's not how.
Was he one of the members of the dig?
Looks like there are any left. They're all either mad or dead, except for
Yes.
Campbell Thompson.
But Fuller's got the good idea. Is he part of the dig or connected with it? Because I'm not sure if I remember his name being mentioned. It is late.
It was not mentioned. All right, so let me see if I understand this. Fuller is asleep on the couch, or he's going to be sleeping on the couch. The Horn of Alu is in the safe in the room. Okay. And the rest of you four are going to what? Go home?
I'm taking the box with me in a very, very...
I think two people should stay in the room. I have a bad headache, so I'm heading home to take some tonic, some sleeping powder and tonic.
So
yes,
I have to go home to upkeep the ruse.
Guess I'm gonna hang out here with the horn.
all right, let's play a few hands of cards, small stakes, but at least we didn't blow 600 pounds apiece.
We pushed it all on Vadim. That was pretty smart of us, Reginald.
Well, I want you to realize, too, that that's a lot of money that you no longer have. I mean, Curse of Nineveh or whatever, you've just shelled out a huge amount of money.
Tell me, Tom, was ramen invented at this time? Because we're going to be eating a lot of ramen.
Actually, it was before ramen got cheap, but yes, ramen is out there.
We're going to be eating a lot of ramen.
Well, especially if we end up parting with the thing to one group or another, I think that the rest of us can pool some resources and make sure that Vadim doesn't run out of Turkish tobacco. And
how much did we finally pay for a total?
1,200
pounds.
Yeah, between me and the Fuller.
And my entire liquidity as a fairly wealthy fellow is only 630 pounds, so it's substantial.
I know it's not in British dollars, but in U.S. pounds, it's equivalent to, and for the time period, $17,317.
If you're worried about my financial well-being, if necessary, I can get some line of credit, as you say, but I shall be fine for a while. But I will be eating curries for a good number of months.
I just thought that it was amusing that Felix leaned forward and unmuted himself so that he could go. All right.
All right.
So now, if I understand now, Felix and Fuller are staying here?
I'm sticking around for a while. We're playing some cards.
It's me and Reginald, and Fuller's asleep on the couch.
Okay. Cyrus is going home. He's got a headache. Vadim is going home.
Taking his empty box home.
Yep.
Okay.
In fact, on my way out, I'll grab something, bag or something that's there, a blanket, and wrap the blanket up and walk out with it under my arm.
Okay. Sykes is like, excuse me, sir. The blankets don't go home with the people. Be sure and bring that back. All right. Cyrus, you go home. You take some tonic. And as you get home, you feel better. I mean, your headache kind of goes away, but it's still late, so you go ahead and go to sleep. I'm sorry, Fuller and Felix. Reginald, you guys are playing cards. Everybody do power rolls. Reginald, Fuller, and Felix.
Oh, I got to do a power roll? I'm asleep.
Oh, I thought you guys were playing cards a little bit first.
No, I'm going to sleep.
Okay, you're going to sleep.
Fuller's asleep on the couch.
Okay.
Reginald and I are just throwing some cards.
All right.
And I just rolled a 7, so I think I won that pot.
Oh, yeah, that beats my 15.
Okay. So the two of you are playing cards, but you're feeling the weight of the evening, if you will. The excitement. You're finding it a little difficult to concentrate on your card game. Vadim, you arrive home. Do a spot hidden.
Hard success.
All right. As you arrive home, you get the very strong impression that somebody's watching you. You're not entirely sure if it's real or if you're just nervous, or if somebody followed you. You heard a noise. You thought you saw a shadow, but you're not 100% sure.
I'm cautiously going to approach my home, but kind of to the side, see if anybody pops out.
Okay. You
And
do
if
notice that truck that's backing up over in the background going.
I didn't know they put klaxons on trucks. That is rather ingenious.
You don't see anything, but your spidey sense is tingling. So you're not sure if you're just freaking yourself out.
I'm going to quietly slip in the alleyway next to my house and go through the back door.
Okay. You open the back door. The house is as you left it.
Keeping an eye on things while I'm doing it.
It's late. I forget. Do you have servants?
I have Mr. Spencer, but I don't think he's there at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Brewster rather.
All right. So you slip in, and what do you do?
Lock up the house, take a look, turn on the lights.
Okay.
For a little while, and when I see house is secure, I go ahead and turn off unnecessary lights.
Okay. And I assume you retire to your bedroom? Or?
No, actually, I'm going to have my small bed in my study.
Okay. Your bed in your study.
Yes.
All right.
But I'm going to make it look like that I was in my bedroom and the lights shut off. And I'm just going to sleep into my study and have a nightcap.
Okay, so about an hour goes by.
Mm-hmm. Keeping my shoes by my bed, of course, just in case.
Fuller, I would like you to roll. Where did it go? I would like you to roll a 12-sided dice. Hey, we get to roll a 12-sided dice.
Wow, what's a 12-sided dice? Okay. For what purpose?
Because I told you to.
I rolled a 10.
A 10. All right. As you sleep, you feel as if you are trapped. You open up your eyes and you find that you are standing in a very small room. It seems like it's maybe only 5 or 6 feet across in one direction and maybe 6 feet in the other. And at one end, there is simply a passage going out of it. The whole thing is very dark. You can barely see. You're not sure if there's a light source or what, but there's kind of a glow from above. It smells dank, like a sewer. And you can hear dripping sounds, and it seems like you're in a very bad sort of place.
Okay.
What do you do?
I want to explore it.
Okay. As you step forward, if you touch the walls, you find that they're wet and somewhat slimy. The passage simply turns a corner to another corner to a number of other passages that lead into rooms with no exits. And you realize that you're in some sort of a labyrinth. You also notice that you are feeling very tired, as if you had worked all day long. And at first you think, why am I so tired? But then when you look at your own arms and limbs, you realize that you are aging. That with every step you take forward in the labyrinth, the more you seem to become emaciated, and your hair is turning gray, and your skin is tightening on your bones.
I think I'd have to roll to see if I'd be willing to continue forward at that point in time.
You can do that.
I mean, dreams feel real in the moment.
Right.
No, I would have stopped at 91. I would have just like, whoa, this isn't going to happen.
Well, you realize that there's no way out, that there's no escape. You realize the walls are too slick and slippery and slimy to climb up, although it does look like the way out, that you should be able to climb up onto the wall, only it's about 15 feet above you, and there's just no way for you to reach it. You begin to get a sort of anxiety attack, panic attack, and the next thing you know, you're running through the labyrinth, and I would like you to do a sanity roll.
Ooh, 28 out of 69.
Okay, you lose 1 point of sanity.
1 point? Okay.
Now, since he's on the couch and Reginald and I are sitting there playing cards, is he making a bunch of movement or squirming around or looking any kind of discomfort?
He's not. There was a moment while you guys were playing cards where he made a sort of a noise and he twitched a little. But now he's laying there completely unmoving. His breathing has become very slow and regular. If you were to, if you would say that he is probably in a very deep sleep. Both of you guys do a power roll again.
38. Regular pass.
14. Extreme.
Felix, you can't seem to keep your eyes open. You're trying to play cards, but all of the hearts and diamonds are just sort of looking the same. You realize you really need some sleep. Reginald, you're still feeling okay, but you are kind of settling in your chair. And
when do you suppose we get to wake Fuller up and let him take over the watch? You look like you barely keep your eyes open.
Yeah, now's as good a time as any.
So if the auction went from 8 to 10 and we got back and finished wrapping up our conversation by 11, we stayed up for a couple of hours. So he's only had 2 hours sleep or so.
Yeah, it's probably
wanted 4.
1 in the morning, 2 in the morning. I assume too you've probably been drinking a little bit.
Heavily at this point, and for a long time.
Do you want to see if you can crash in one of the apartments here? And I'll stay up for another hour before I wake Fuller up.
I can just pull the pillow out from under his head and kick back in the floor.
Well, I mean, if you're here, you can interfere, as they say. I don't say that, but I'll kick you if a masked man comes in.
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right,
works out well. I'll just kick back in the floor.
Okay.
And then I'm going to read about cuneiform for a while.
Okay, Felix.
That'll put me to sleep.
You take the pillow and you lay it on the floor, and you lay down on top of it. You find that for all of half a minute, you're a little uncomfortable lying on the floor, and then you're sound asleep. Go ahead and roll a 12-sided dice for me. It's the one with pentagons all over it.
Got it. 5.
5. Okay. As you're laying there, you suddenly realize that the ground is squishy underneath you, and it's wet. And as you open your eyes, you find that you're completely surrounded by mud. It's raining, and there's a lot of noise going on. And as you look around, you realize that you are in a trench out in the middle of a battlefield during World War I, during the Great War. You're not sure how you got there at first, but there are explosives going on around you, and there are gunshots cracking. What do you do?
Gonna look. I'm in the trench. I'm gonna look for cover and see if I can get in some kind of protection.
Okay. Well, you notice there are soldiers near you that are firing. You immediately get yelled at by somebody for deserting your post. You do realize you have a rifle in your hand. So you begin firing, but you're afraid. You really want to run. Do a luck roll.
It's a fail. 78 on 55.
Okay. So you're shooting, and the soldier next to you suddenly makes a loud reels back and falls to the ground, blood squirting from his head. Then you see that the one next to you also gets hit. He gets hit in the shoulder. He falls to the ground, and you can see he's screaming. He's calling out for his mom. And as you sort of glance down at him, you feel a bullet graze the side of your head. And for just a moment, you go dizzy, and you fall back onto the ground next to your dying comrades. And you can't move. You see things going on around you. You see the other soldiers continuing to fight. One of them actually grabs a hold of your body and shoves it out of the way. You find yourself sort of pressed down into the mud and the slime, and you can't move. And this seems to go on for hours until the sun comes up. And then they're grabbing a hold of your legs and they're dragging you through the mud, and you still can't move. And they're dragging you towards an open grave where they're throwing the other bodies. And they fling you in on top of this pile of corpses, and they start filling it in with dirt. Go ahead and do a sanity roll. You're muted.
Well, you'll be happy to know I failed that as well. A 57 on
1d4 sanity loss. Reginald, do a POW roll.
Oh, 5. Nothing will put me to sleep.
Stop it.
Another carafe of coffee, Sykes.
All right.
Do you ever sleep, Sykes?
You are...
So that means I managed to stay up
very
and let
fatigued.
Fuller...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I managed to stay up until I could wake Fuller. He wanted 4 hours.
Well, you're trying very hard to stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
You shake Fuller and he won't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
You shake him rather vigorously and he won't wake up. You kick Felix a couple times. Felix won't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
But you're managing to stay awake.
What's the overnight staff situation like at the Wentworth Club? Is there a night Sykes who takes over from day Sykes?
Probably not. Not this late at night. You're all sort of left to be responsible for yourselves.
All right. And this room that we've taken hostage for the last few months for our club within a club, it has, is it a corner or a side room? One window or two?
It's a corner on the end, yeah. What 2 windows?
2 windows. 3rd floor, 2nd floor?
3rd floor.
So I'm going to go and peer out the windows into the darkness and look for cat burglars. And assuming I don't see any, I'm going to pull a chair so that it blocks the only door to the room, in which I'm going to continue to try to read for a while until one of these clowns wakes up.
Okay.
But time will pass.
Vadim. Go into your study and you go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Do a listen roll.
Nope, failed miserably.
Okay. We'll do a luck roll for me then.
Made it with.
All right.
Made it real.
So you're sleeping there. You begin to have some rather odd dreams. You're in a field. There are, it's an oddly beautiful sort of field, except that there's something wrong. You're not quite sure what it is. You look towards the edge of a forest. It's over at the side, and you can see people moving in and out of the trees in a very peculiar manner, almost like they go around a tree and then back in, around a tree and back in. They're moving in snake-like patterns. And
this is odd.
As you move towards them, you're pretty sure that they're looking for someone or something. And one of them sees you, and you see him suddenly call out to the others and point at you. And they all turn and start running in your direction.
Do they look like they're going to cause me harm?
They certainly look like they want something. They don't look like they're your friends or anything like that. The very sheer number of them is what sort of frightens you.
All right. Let them come to see what they want.
All right. So they run forward and they begin to surround you on all sides. And the effect is rather odd. The effect is like you can't breathe. Like there's somehow, even though they're not touching you, you're being restricted. You're being pinned down like you have a sheet or a blanket wrapped around you. And you suddenly open up your eyes and you realize that you are in bed, and there are two men on either side of you that have you pinned by your blankets into the bed. And one of them holds up a knife right in front of your face, and he says, "Where is the Horn of Alu?"
What does he sound like?
Like this. Where is it? Tell us where it is. They don't sound Arab like Children of Tranquility.
Or how are they dressed? As best as I
Can't see,
tell.
it's kind of dark.
Okay.
They're blocking your view. You're staring up into their faces. Tell us or we'll kill you here and now.
Vault 12 at Bank of England.
How is that possible? The Bank of England is not open. You have it with you. We saw you with a box.
Box is ruse. I have friends of my father at Bank of England. They let me in. They arranged for vault. My family is merchants. They have large ties to Bank of England. I pulled a favor, as you say.
Then you are of no use to us.
I'm no use to anyone.
How do we get into the vault?
I don't know if they would allow you to, except with me, maybe there.
The other one says, I don't believe him. I believe it is here somewhere. We will have to search the entire house, tear it apart to find it.
I'm telling the truth. It is not here. It is at it is the Bank of England in the vault, like I said.
Do you want to attempt to do anything, Vadim?
Are they letting me up?
Oh no.
Okay.
You're pretty sure that in a few moments they're going to cut your throat or.
All right. If it's pretty much a given, I'm going to struggle to get out and try and sock one of them.
All right.
Or grapple them.
Go ahead and do a brawl roll.
All right. Not one of my best skills. Okay. So I'm trying to find where it's at here. Unarmed. Okay. That was miserable. I'm kind of flailing about.
All right. Got a 17. I don't see any way around it. Hold on. He takes the knife. The guy with the knife takes the knife, and he jams it right here into your shoulder. He does 6 points of damage.
Ouch.
And they've kind of got you by the throat too. I mean, they've got you pinned. Tell us where it is, and we'll let you go.
Okay.
Shit. I just rolled a skill roll.
Tom fumbled
On my mouse.
Very well. It is with my valet, Spencer Brewster. Here's his address is 2794 Worthingham Road.
Jeez.
Can I do a persuade?
Yeah, no.
No. Okay.
That is what we wanted to know. And they cut your throat.
Make an attempt to try and staunch the blood.
Yeah, they've pretty much cut your throat.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Not much I can do.
Oh, I'm sorry about that cut throat.
Well, Reginald, you managed to stay up until about 4 o'clock in the morning, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're almost asleep. You're almost falling asleep when both Fuller and Felix at the same time suddenly start up off of their bed or the couch, and both yell out quite loudly as if they've had horrible, horrible nightmares. They're almost in fighting mode when they wake up.
Man, it's all right. We're still no one's come in. Did one of you wake the other one up?
I don't know. Terrible dreams. Terrible. Dark.
White as a sheet, both of you. Let me, there's brandy in the corner. Let me get you a little brandy. I tried to wake you earlier, but you were dead to the world.
Yeah, it's ironic you should say that. That's how it was in my dream.
The dreams seem very vivid and real to you, and you're still kind of reeling from the sanity loss.
Yeah.
Yes, here. Try to hold your hand steady while I pour the brandy. You'll spit all over yourself. Was it like the Naboo Ascendant dreams?
No, this was more worldly, I guess would be the best way to say it. It's more realistic, more something that could. It wasn't so grand. I was in the trenches.
Did you serve in the
wherever-
Great War?
No. I was my family was far too wealthy to put me through that. But I had heard stories, of course. And,
Yes, I didn't see the trenches myself, but I understand they were truly ghastly.
yeah. The one that it was everything. I could smell it, hear it, feel it, the mud under my feet, the shots being fired, the percussion of the explosives. Everything was so real. To my right and my left, both men were taken out. And then it was my turn. It was my time, and I felt the bullet hit my head. I was conscious, though. I was, in my mind, I was able to watch everything that had happened, and I laid in that mud, watched the sun come up, but couldn't move. My body was just, it was dead. Later, they came through. They were clearing the bodies, mine being one of them, and they carried me to an open grave where I was thrown upon a heap of dozens, if not hundreds, of other corpses. And then the dirt started falling. They just filled it in right on top of all of us.
I'll have a little bit of that brandy myself.
Yeah.
Fuller, what disturbed you?
I dreamed that I was trapped in a maze and I was aging. I don't look decrepit, do I?
No,
Okay.
just a little shaky from the horror of the dream.
You are pale.
I'm thinking the horn acts like the statue did to us.
So we need to get in touch with the Children of Tranquility sooner rather than later. I like to get the thing well documented first. I don't know. Maybe if I go home to sleep, it won't affect me. We were only affected when we possessed the Naboo Ascending. Do you think you're up for maintaining the watch for the next few hours?
Yeah.
I expect Vadim and Cyrus will be here pretty early if we've got a 10 o'clock meeting with Rayburn Price. So I'm going to see if I can get a cab home.
Okay. As a result of not falling asleep, you are going to be at have a penalty dice on any kind of skill roll that you roll today. Cyrus, you wake up, headache's all gone, you feel refreshed. You head over to the Wentworth Club. Fuller, even though you're trying to sort of keep watch, you're still finding that you're fatigued. You don't feel like you got much sleep, and Felix and Fuller both feel that way.
Yeah, I figured as much. So I take it I got a penalty dice as well?
No, not the same. You didn't stay up all night. But I assume you all meet then at the breakfast table downstairs. And, of course, Vadim is not there.
Oh, my headache went away. You guys look like crap.
Thank you.
It was a long...
Maybe we should go rouse Vadim up.
Yeah, he's a pretty punctual fellow in general.
We don't
let's-
even know that he made it home safe last night.
I bet you he stayed up all night looking at that beetle scarab thing he got and researching it. You know him.
It's a good guess. Well, let's. I'll ask Sykes for the phone, and we'll call his apartment. One of his men should be there, and by now.
Okay. Sykes gives you the phone, and you call, and the line is dead.
Yes, that's rather odd, chaps. His phone's not in service. I must say that's a little alarming, given that he went home alone last night. Shall we, a couple of us, he won't be able to make his appointment with Rayburn Price if we dally too much.
Well, it's only 8:15, so let's head there, rouse him. I'm telling you, he was up all night looking at that stupid beetle, probably looking in books to find out where it came from.
Yes, I think he could forget to sleep or eat for days.
All right. So you all pile in the car and you head over to Vadim's, and you know something is wrong when you are down the street and you see a number of police cars there, and it looks like something horrible may have happened.
Well, we go up. He's our colleague, so I mean,
Yeah, we've met a fair number of policemen in the last 6 months as well.
don't mention anything about the statue to the police. They'll want it for evidence.
Yeah.
Well, immediately as you go up there, of course, I'm sorry, there's a crime scene here.
This building, exactly. A friend of ours lives there.
Are you friends with Mr. Vadim Gamantov?
Yes.
Yes, very much
Very
so.
close.
I see. Please wait over there.
Thank you.
Okay.
And after a few minutes, somebody goes out. Now, you guys can all do spot hiddens.
02 again.
Ooh, 03.
Well, those of you who passed, especially those who passed really well, you can see that the police are questioning Mr. Brewster, Vadim's servant. Mr. Brewster seems very upset. He's sitting down. They've got a blanket over his shoulders. They're handing him a cup of tea, and he's visibly shaking. He's not within reach. He's over there, and the police are, here.
Can I get up and just walk towards him?
If you start to, immediately one of the police officers says, "No, we need you to stay here and sit down."
Unless he physically grabs me, I'm just gonna walk over there.
Well, yeah, he'll beat you to death with his.
Oh, he's all right. No, I didn't know if
They're the police. They're like, "No, sir, you have to stay here." Almost immediately, one of the police detectives, I don't think it's one that you know, but he'll come over and he'll say, you're friends of Mr. Gamantov.
Yes.
Well, I'm very sorry to say that it seems that he has been murdered.
How?
It looks like a robbery.
What?
The place has been completely torn apart on the inside. He was found in his bed with his throat cut and stab wounds to his chest. Can I ask your whereabouts last evening? He's going to ask you all of the questions you would expect him to ask.
Yeah. Well, we answer the questions, but we leave out anything in regard to the horn.
Okay.
He was at the auction. He bought a scarab.
We went to the club. He went home. Was there any a note of any kind or something like that at the site of his
I'm
murder?
afraid that sort of thing has to be kept confidential, but at the moment, it doesn't look like a suicide or anything like that.
No, certainly not. Well, I guess, gentlemen, we could only but go on with the business of the day.
Is one of the police officers that we have talked to in the past there?
No. So what do you do? There's quite a lot of...
Do any of
Yes.
us have a combination to that safe, or have the key, or did Vadim have that?
The key at the club?
It would have stayed with us.
Yeah, most likely he would have left it with whoever was staying on guard.
I want to say I thought it was a combination.
Yeah, it does seem like it wouldn't be one key that
You're
we're
right.
all
Maybe it
sharing
would be
the
a combination.
office.
You can lose a key. You can't lose a combination.
Well, just as long as one of us know how to get the thing open is what I'm getting at here. So do we? We're good?
Yeah, I should think so.
Okay, good. There we
Cyrus is just dead silent since he heard that. Like not a peep came out of his mouth.
So you're all rather somber.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we should take the horn to Theodore Rayburn Price's office and tell him the news as well. He'll feel responsible, I'm sure. And then we figure out how to get this thing into safe hands before another of us is assaulted.
We need to get it to the Children of Tranquility.
Yeah.
let me interject there for a moment and gently remind you that you didn't hear that whole thing that happened. This is your friend has had his throat cut.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the modus operandi of the Children of Tranquility.
Yeah, but they didn't mention anything about his feet and hands cut off.
No, although they were a little bit secretive. Still, I think that if the children had shown up, he would have made a peaceful arrangement with them, I hope. I guess it's whether it was more the first group or the second.
You want to know for sure? Hey, officer, come here for a minute.
Now, if you recall, Fuller, they didn't tell anybody about the hands and feet. You found that out later on by prying.
Oh, I know. I'm going to ask him another question.
Okay.
So has the officer come over?
Yes, sir.
Was there a note stuffed in his mouth?
Like I say, I'm afraid that we can't give you information like that. But no, there wasn't.
Okay.
Once the officer leaves, I'm gonna, with our group here, I say, I don't know about you gentlemen, but when the cops leave, I'm going into that house and I'm going to investigate. If you want to come, you can. If not, I understand. One of you need to speak with his manservant. Find out. His manservant obviously found the body. He'll know exactly what happened. I'm going to go in the house. We're going to find out who did this. And up until now, you've seen me on my best behavior. I'm not holding back anymore. Whoever did this will pay, and they will pay fucking dearly. And I light a cigarette. I grab a cigarette from somebody in the crowd, and I just kind of walk away.
Right. After a few minutes of somebody questioning Mr. Brewster, you do notice that they walk away. They're continuing with their business. They're going in and out of the house. Mr. Brewster is sitting on a bench just outside the house, as I say, with a blanket and a cup of tea, which he's barely able to sip, but he's by himself at this point.
Can we get to him?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe if you explain. Well, if the officer tries to stop you and you say, we just want to go speak to Mr. Brewster, he's our friend, they'll say, all right, yes. But don't cross that line over there.
All right, go sit down and talk to Mr. Brewster.
And you can see that Mr. Brewster is shivering. And he looks up and he's like, oh, Mr. Albright, Mr. Harcourt, Mr. Matthews, Mr. Finley.
What happened, good man?
It's just horrible, beyond belief.
Well, what happened?
Well, I came in this morning, as I always do, and I walked in the door, and everything in the entire place has been torn to shreds. There's not a piece of furniture unbroken. There's not a cabinet not smashed.
Brewster does not actually live on the premises,
No,
correct?
correct. He says, I immediately called the police, and then I began to search, and I found Mr. Gamontoff in his bed, murdered.
What was done to him?
Oh, sir, it was so horrible. They stabbed him and cut his throat. There was blood everywhere.
Who in his family have you contacted?
Oh, I haven't done any of that yet.
You know the people, though?
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
Arrangements will have to be made.
Oh, sir, what a horrible business.
It can scarcely be overstated.
All right.
There's nothing we can do here until the police vacate the area.
Well, then it looks like that's not going to happen.
And I doubt we're going to find much of anything anyway.
They eventually take the body out, covered. You can see the sheet is bloody. But the place, I don't know how long you're going to stick around. It's pretty horrific. But if you stick around long enough, after maybe 2 hours, they're going to seal everything up so that the detectives can come in and thoroughly go through it, which they're going to come back later today.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything from the crime scene. We could look around the outside of the house and see if there's a window open.
Brewster has left. He's gone home. Because, good God.
I don't know. Most people would, celebrate that their employer was dead, but maybe that's just me.
Except that now he's out on the street and he's not going to have a place to work and nobody to give him references. He is going to contact the family. Probably the police will contact the family. All right. You know what? I think that I know it's a little early, but I think that might be a good spot to stop. Because we're all sitting here not talking because Vadim got killed. All right. We'll pick this up with Rayburn Price and next time. Our players included David Gassaway, John Byram, Ford Fitch, Jason Melnichuk, and Jerry Bryant, with myself as the Keeper of the Secrets. We're currently producing up to 5 shows a week with music and sound effects added in post-production in order to create a richer listener experience. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Podbean or iTunes. The costs involved with the show are provided almost entirely by our patrons. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And with great and heartfelt thanks, we thank our patrons because they're amazing. If you'd like to support our show, visit our Patreon account. Just $1 or $2 a month helps us a lot. You can find a link in the description below. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel and punch that bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. And follow us on Twitter at ITD Podcast. ITD Podcast. This is Tom Rayleigh, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Call of Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.